In those fleeting 3 seconds, the bright smile on her face slowly died. She frantically grabbed her phone, muttering that she absolutely had to break the news to Chenxu. As she dialed, I noticed her fingers were visibly trembling. Once the call connected, her very first words were not a congratulations on my pregnancy. Can you believe it? In her chilling tone, there was absolutely zero joy, only pure, unadulterated panic. In that agonizing moment, it felt like she was merely notifying a criminal accomplice. Zhou Ding and I had been inseparable best friends for 15 years, college roommates, who shared the same cramped bunk bed for all 4 years. We were closer than biological sisters. She knew every single one of my passwords, and I believed I knew all her secrets. At least, I was once naive enough to think so. Pregnant. The other end went deathly silent. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Are you for real? Seriously? Yes, I just finished the test. 6 weeks along, and I haven't breathed a word to Chenxu yet. I want to surprise him completely. Help me brainstorm how to tell him. In that case, let me call and break the good news to Chenxu first, to break the ice for you. Sure, go ahead and call him. Knock yourself out. How exactly should I tell my husband? Buy a cute cake, or just leave the positive test on his desk? While I was spiraling deep in my own thoughts, a food delivery notification flashed across my screen. It was an automated alert from a shared app. I hadn't ordered anything. I clicked the banner to investigate, realizing it was actually Chengsu's account. His delivery note read, "Just leave it at the door, babe is starving." I stared at those haunting words, then instinctively scrolled down to scour his entire order history at Quieting Court. The history showed orders going back over 1.5 years to an address I had never stepped foot in. I didn't confront Chengxu immediately. Men never offer the truth voluntarily. I understood that cynical logic all too well, so I just turned off my phone. The moment Chengxu walked in, he cheered, "Wife, you're pregnant. That is amazing. Let me take you for a proper checkup." That night, he was suspiciously attentive, telling me to prioritize my nutrition and make sure I take my supplements exactly on time. But that mysterious address kept spinning in my mind. The next morning, I called in sick. I unlocked his phone and dug through every single order sent to that Quieting Court address. I screenshotted every single one, a staggering total of 137 orders, dating back 1.5 years, with the most recent from just yesterday. The items were incredibly diverse, like snail noodles and spicy hot pot. Chengxu had a weak stomach, and under normal circumstances, he practically never touched spicy food. Yet every dish sent to this address was loaded with hot and sour noodles, snail noodles, spicy hot pot. Zhou Ding's absolute favorites. I froze, completely paralyzed, desperately trying to stop myself from overthinking. Thousands of people live in Quieting Court. Surely, plenty of them crave spicy food. But that intimate delivery note remained like a jagged thorn in my mind. I had to investigate. Quieting Court was a luxury apartment complex sitting somewhere between modern and dated. I stood rooted at the gate for 5 minutes, checking the delivery logs one last time. Building 3, room 402. I saw a familiar pink keychain. One hung at our home, another at her office. I rummaged through my purse until I found Zhou Ding's spare key. In case she got locked out, she said I would rescue her. She moved 3 years ago and never gave me her new address, but I kept the key. Now, I slid it into the lock. With a trembling hand, I turned the knob. The door opened to a small, tidy one-bedroom flat. The second I crossed the threshold, her signature scent hit me, the sweet scent of locust blossoms Zhou Ding always wears. A thin throw blanket lay on the sofa. 2 mugs sat on the coffee table, one pink, one deep navy blue. To the left were women's heels, to the right, men's dress shoes. I recognized them instantly. He had called them uncomfortable and promised to toss them. They were never thrown away, but secretly stashed right here. A photo nearby celebrated their 1000th day. That is nearly 3 years. Chengxu and I married only 2.5 years ago. They were together before I ever walked down the aisle. They had been carrying on so long they even took anniversary photos. Eventually, I forced myself to walk out, escaping the suffocating air of that apartment. I didn't shed a single tear. I do not know why, but they wouldn't come. Staring at the rushing crowd, I remembered the exact day Zhou Ding introduced me to Chengxu. "Let me introduce you to this guy," she had said. "He is an old classmate and a great soul." She was the mastermind behind everything. telling me we were a match made in heaven. She choreographed our very first meeting, meticulously choosing my outfit and decoding his text messages. Later, whenever Chenxu and I fought, she was the first person I would run to. "Don't worry," she would say, "Chenxu is one of the good guys, he just struggles to speak his feelings." It turns out she knew exactly how good he was, better than I did. "Let's grab dinner tonight, just the two of us. A real date night." I put my phone down and immediately dialed a different number. "Sister Ling, it's me." Sister Ling is a high-powered lawyer. "What is on your mind?" "I need legal counsel." "Swing by my office and we will talk. Is this afternoon okay?" "Sure." Sister Ling went dead silent for 10 seconds after hearing everything. "Are you absolutely certain?" "I saw the proof myself, celebrating their 1000th day." "So what is your move?" "I want a divorce." "Understood, but you must clear up a few points first. 1. Current asset distribution. 2. Has he stashed away hidden wealth whose name is on that deed? 3. You're pregnant. Do you want to keep this child?" "I do." Then prioritize your own protection. Do not alert him yet. Go home and discreetly audit every single joint asset. Scrutinize the bank statements, real estate deeds, vehicles, and every cent in savings. Uncover everything possible, and remember one detail: while you are pregnant, the law serves as your shield. He is legally prohibited from initiating a divorce while you carry that child. However, the power to file remains entirely with you. "Sister Ling, there is something else bothering me. These supplements he insists I swallow every single day. I have a gut feeling something is wrong." "Wrong how?" "Each time I take them, unnatural nausea hits me. It doesn't feel like typical morning sickness. It is a violent dizziness that leaves me gagging. Stop taking them immediately. Bring that bottle to a lab for full toxicology screening." "Screening? Do you really think they'll find something?" "If he tampered with them, that report will be your proof." I nodded silently, exiting Sister Ling's office with a heavy heart. I made a strategic stop at the pharmacy to buy a fresh, safe bottle of folic acid, hiding the suspicious one in my purse to deliver straight to the forensic testing center. Tonight, Joding and I are meeting for Japanese food. She hasn't changed a bit, at least on the surface. She wears that same deceptive mask. "Now that you are expecting, how are you holding up?" "Any severe morning sickness? A little. You should crave more sour flavors." "Listen to me, I have just been rambling on. I have studied this face for 15 years. Every subtle twitch and expression is etched into my memory. Yet, looking at her now, I only see a cold stranger. By the way, where exactly is your new place located? You still haven't shared the address." "Just some rundown apartment complex in the North End. It is quite a hassle to get to. I will show you around eventually." "Understood," I said. "Be honest, is Chenxu treating you right? Is he being attentive now that you are carrying his child?" "Beyond reproach." "That is a relief." Then, she lowered her eyes to her salmon. I caught a glimpse of her smirk. The corners of her lips twitched upward, faintest movement, but I didn't miss it. 3 days later, the laboratory results were finally ready. As I reached for the report, my hands shaking violently, "Mrs. Nyan, regarding the chemical makeup of the supplement... Please, tell me everything. Aside from the standard vitamins, we have detected a highly abnormal additive." "What on earth is it?" "This specific compound is strictly prohibited from standard nutritional regimens during pregnancy. If ingested over a prolonged period, it will severely sabotage your physical health and future conception plans, leaving behind permanent damage." I stood there, completely paralyzed. Chenxu and I had been desperately trying to conceive for the whole years. I truly believed the failure was entirely mine, due to crushing stress or my own spiraling anxiety. Turns out, my body wasn't the problem at all. "Come here and take your prenatal vitamins, babe." I had obediently swallowed his lies for 2 straight years. 2 years of unknowingly ingesting birth control pills, all while he looked me in the eye and called them supplements. When I finally stumbled out the door, the midday sun was blinding, sharp, and physically painful. I stood on the curb, refusing to cry, my knuckles white from clenching my fists. That night, I systematically audited Chenxu's secret bank history. I already had the password to his main salary account, but he kept a second private card. Previously, he claimed it was strictly for corporate expenses, using that to keep me away from it. The moment he stepped into the shower, I bypassed his security and opened the banking app, unlocking it instantly with a single fingerprint. Since we used the exact same phone model, he wanted to avoid any hassle, so he had actually let me register my own fingerprint to access the transaction logs. On the 15th of every single month, a fixed sum of 28 million Vietnamese dong was siphoned out. I continued scrolling through the digital trail. The recipient was none other than Joe Ding. Every month, like clockwork, a fixed living allowance was dispatched consistently for 3 long years. At 28 million over 36 months, that is over a billion Vietnamese dong. Scrolling further revealed a massive transfer of 1.365 billion Vietnamese dong, noted as a real estate down payment to purchase the home. The funds were sent 2 years ago. I scrolled to the bottom of the archives and discovered a screenshot of the official land title transfer. Kaiding Court, Building 3, Room 402. The owner's name was Joe Ding. That bastard. Joe Ding was officially listed as the owner, but my husband had coughed up 1.4 billion for the deposit, and still carries the heavy bank debt. Total expenses reached a staggering 2.4 billion. He squandered 2.4 billion on Joe Ding while I did not even have a clue where that apartment was located. That 2.4 billion figure, the photos of the toxic supplements, and that nauseating note on the delivery order. Babe is hungry, right? I meticulously linked all of these treacherous pieces together in my mind, and suddenly a memory from 3 years ago resurfaced. Joe Ding claimed she was suffering from appendicitis and had to be bedridden in the hospital for a week. I selflessly transferred 7 million Vietnamese dong to her, insisting she buy something nutritious to heal. She told me I was truly her soul sister. Back then, I fell for her act hook, line, and sinker. But now, as I scour Chenxu's transfer history from that exact window 3 years ago, he had wired 50 million to Joe Ding. The note read, "Surgery funds, don't be afraid, I am right here." I did a bit of digging. The actual cost of an appendectomy at the city's top-tier hospitals is only about 15 to 25 million Vietnamese dong. So, that extra 25 to a staggering 35 million left over, what was that really for? I screenshotted every receipt to secure the evidence. The following day, I began my performance, pretending to be completely oblivious to their betrayal. This was the most cruel part of the charade. "Don't forget to take these with you, got it?" I waited until his back was turned to hide those incriminating documents away, then swapped them with the forged versions I had prepared. He was blissfully unaware. Every single night, he still interrogated me with his usual routine. "How are you feeling today?" "I'm doing okay." "Does anything feel off or uncomfortable?" "Just a little nauseous." That is just par for the course with pregnancy. I locked eyes with him. I saw a flicker of heartache, drowned in guilt. I could not tell which emotion held more weight, but one chilling truth was clear. He has no intention of letting me have this baby. Since the day the lab results arrived, I finally realized the gifts he gave me were never standard prenatal supplements to begin with. But against all odds, I actually conceived. So, what exactly is he waiting for now? I can't say for sure, but I can hazard a guess that both he and Joe Ding are already orchestrating their next move. Over the following days, everything appeared perfectly tranquil on the surface. A week later, Chenxu approached me with a suggestion. "Wife, one of my colleagues highly recommended a tonic to nourish your body." "Nourish, yeah, it is just to boost your overall health. Give it a go for a while and see how you feel." "Wife, one of my colleagues actually suggested a special remedy to fortify your body." "Nourish, yeah, it is strictly to maintain your vitality. Give it a try for a while and see." The moment he left, I meticulously stashed that bag away. The very next day, I sent the contents for a laboratory analysis. 3 days later, the harrowing results arrived. It was packed with a massive dose of chemical components that are lethal for a developing pregnancy. These specific ingredients are strictly forbidden for consumption during gestation. I stared down at the toxic biology report, my fingertips turning to ice. It wasn't merely that he wanted to prevent me from conceiving. Now, he actually intends to force a miscarriage. That night, I retreated to Mr. Leng's office and laid every scrap of evidence on the table: the delivery logs, the surveillance photos at Kaiding Court, the bank records, the 2.4 billion transfer receipts, both lab reports, and that damning 1,000-day anniversary photo. Nyan, this has transcended a simple case of infidelity. I understood that once these 2 lab results were verified, the legal nature of this betrayal would shift entirely. What is your ultimate plan, Sister Ling? Next Saturday is Zhou Ding's birthday. To mark the occasion, I want to host a grand birthday celebration right in front of everyone we know. Are you absolutely certain? I have never been sure. What do you need? I need you to draft 3 specific documents: a divorce settlement, a formal request to freeze all assets, and a stern lawyer's letter addressed directly to Chenxu. Consider it done. Is there anything else? One more thing. I need your help investigating a lead regarding the time Zhou Ding was hospitalized 3 years ago. What procedure did she actually undergo? For that entire week, I lived the life of a typical pregnant woman, eating well, taking strolls, and attending prenatal checkups. Chenxu returned home like clockwork every evening. He was so meticulous and attentive that his performance was practically flawless. That specialized tonic from earlier, did you finish it? I did. And how do you feel? It was a bit bitter. Bitter medicine is what truly cures the ailment. On Wednesday, I scheduled a meetup with some old college friends. This weekend is Zhou Ding's birthday, and I am hosting a small, intimate celebration for her. Just her close inner circle of friends. Is that okay? Where? In Washington. I have already booked a private VIP room. Leave the planning to me. Sounds great. It is settled then. We will all be there. Next, I called Zhou Ding to make sure she was free this Saturday. I told her, I am throwing you a proper birthday bash. She said I did not have to, but I insisted. Since she was the most overjoyed about my pregnancy, let me handle this birthday. Chenxu is coming too, and I already tasked him with the cake. After hanging up, I took a deep breath, bypassed security, and opened Chengxu's WeChat. His entire chat history was locked behind a password, but I cracked that code long ago. It was his mother's birthday. I went straight to his private messages with Zhou Ding. In their most recent exchange, I took screenshots of every single damning word, capturing every thread down to the last letter. I finally set the phone down. My hands were steady, my heart numb. I just felt a bitter, all-consuming chill, a coldness that pierced me from the inside out. I scrolled up, diving deeper into the past, digging through messages from over a year ago, then 2 years, then 4 years ago. I searched relentlessly until I found the very first message. It was from 4.5 years ago. What a joke. Our entire romance, our very marriage, was nothing but a scripted play from the very beginning. He never intended to build a life with me. I exported their entire chat history for years of records without leaving out a single sentence. Then, I did one last thing. I tracked down the hospital where Zhou Ding was admitted 3 years ago. At that same clinic, Sister Ling helped me dig up some medical records to investigate. It was not appendicitis at all, but a surgical abortion. She was 12 weeks pregnant, and the guarantor who signed was Chenxu. In the relationship section, he brazenly wrote husband. From the very start, from the moment he smiled and whispered those sweet lies, I was nothing more than a pawn in their twisted game. But they have no idea that a pawn can flip the entire board. On Thursday, I made my final move. Hubby, Sister Ling suggested that since I am expecting, we should sign a postnuptial asset agreement to protect our child's future. He asked what I meant, and I said it just secures the baby's inheritance if anything happens. He thought it was a bit excessive. Don't you think? I told him Sister Ling said this is standard now, and countless couples sign them before birth. He agreed to look, thinking it was just a formality, completely oblivious that hidden inside those documents was a lethal clause. Any marital assets unilaterally transferred or gifted to a third party can be clawed back entirely by the betrayed spouse. That clause was masterfully drafted by Sister Ling's law firm. That to point for Billionaire, not a single cent of it stays with them. Time flew, and in the blink of an eye, Saturday arrived, Zhou Ding's 28th birthday. By 6:30 p.m., all 7 guests had arrived, including our 3 old college friends, myself, Chenxu, and Sister Ling. My senior just happened to be free today to join the party and liven up the room. Zhou Ding showed up in a brand new, pure white dress, looking absolutely ethereal. Sinian, you really went overboard with this extravagant dinner. I told her she deserved every bit of it, while my husband praised me for outdoing myself. It was no trouble at all. As food was served, glasses clinked. I stood up. I have a few words to share. Zhou Ding, our bond spans 15 long years. You have been my absolute best friend. 4 years of college, sharing that same bunk bed, even after graduation, talking every single day. You were the one who introduced Chenxu to me, and you stood by my side as my maid of honor. She smiled, telling me not to get sentimental. Wait, I am not finished yet. I am pregnant, and you were the very first person to find out. When I told you, you went deathly silent for 3 seconds, and then you immediately called my husband. She stammered, saying she was just eager to share the good news. Is that so? Then why were your first words, "She is pregnant"? Did you already know? Isn't that how you share news? But when someone shares happy news, there shouldn't be sheer panic in their voice. Zhou Ding snapped, Sinian, what on earth are you implying? Do you guys know she has been interrogating me with these bizarre questions? It is making me incredibly uneasy. Sister Ling asked what questions. Zhou Ding whined, I feel like she suspects me of something, but I have no clue what I did wrong. My husband chimed in, asking if I was under too much stress. Perhaps that is it, I said. You have been exhausted, he agreed. Fine then, why don't you take a look at this? This is my husband's delivery historian, 137 orders, every single one sent to Quitting Court, Building 3, Room 402. And this specific wind chime, Zhou Ding, didn't you buy a pair? One for your home, the other for your office. And these shoes of mine that Chenxu claimed were lost. They were there on our 1000th day. In other words, you two have been together for nearly 3 years. We have only been married for 2.5. My bridesmaid was already his secret lover. Weren't you? He tried to speak, but I stopped him. Let us move to the next slide. Bank statements. On the 15th of every single month, my husband systematically wired 28 million Vietnamese dong to Zhou Ding under the memo living allowance. That is a staggering 1 billion over 3 years. Next slide. The transfer record for the apartment deposit, 1.36 billion down payment for Unit 402, Building 3, Quitting Court. Next, official real estate records. Owner, Zhou Ding. Source of funds, Chenxu. Combined with the monthly mortgage and living costs, it totals a staggering 2.4 billion. A full 2.4 billion squandered on her. Chenxu, I cherished you as my best friend while you called my man husband. We really are the ultimate soul sisters, aren't we? Zhou Ding begged me to let her explain. No need to rush, there is still one more bombshell. This is the toxicology report for the supplements kept at my house. The chemical analysis proves that beyond the standard vitamins, there are abnormal additives spiked into the mix. This is the bottle Chenxu forced on me daily. I have been ingesting this poison for the last 2 years, desperately trying to conceive with zero results, consulting doctors and enduring countless tests. Every time I broke down in tears, you would embrace me and tell me not to worry, telling me to let nature take its course. Turns out you were holding me while secretly sabotaging my womb. He claimed he had nothing to do with it. Oh, really? Then explain this. This time, when I managed to get pregnant against all odds, he handed me another bag of herbal remedies. He gifted me toxic herbs, and the lab results are absolutely conclusive. They are packed with ingredients strictly banned for expectant mothers, highlighting a lethal risk. Sit back down, I am not finished. The final page shows a transfer of 50 million from 3 years ago. 3 long years ago, Zhou Ding claimed she had appendicitis and was bedridden. I even wired her 7 million to help her recover. But Sister Ling dug up the actual medical files. It was not a burst appendix at all, but an abortion at 12 weeks. The guarantor who signed was Chenxu, listed under relationship status as husband. Husband, you carried my husband's child and aborted it, then looked me in the eye and lied about appendicitis. I even sent you 7 million out of pity, and you said, Sinian, you are my dearest sister. Just moments ago, I was actually defending you, telling myself I was paranoid. Do you have any lies left to tell me? Hold on, I was the one who met him first. I knew Chenxu way before you did. We've been together since college, but his snobbish family rejected me back then just because my background wasn't wealthy enough. I practically handed him to you on a silver platter, handed him to me. If you gave him away, then why the hell were you still crawling back into his bed? Why did you get pregnant with his secret kid? Why did you hide out in the apartment he bought with our money? And why did you burn through every single dollar he sent you? You called that a gift, that wasn't a sacrifice. It's just a pathetic husband and a shameless mistress plotting together to ruin my life. I've been played for a fool by both of you for 4.5 years. For 4.5 painful years, I was dragged along and humiliated. Mr. Chenxu, here is the official letter from my lawyer, along with my officially authorized divorce lawsuit. We also have a formal petition to freeze all of your assets, which the court has already approved. The property located at Unit 402, Building 3, Queen's Court. Even though it's registered under your name, it's flagged as wasted marital property and is completely frozen. What the hell does this mean? One more thing. Do you remember that postnuptial agreement you blindly signed last week? There is a strict clause about marital assets secretly spent or gifted to a third party during our marriage. The injured party has the legal right to reclaim every single cent. That is 3 billion Vietnamese dong. And I am clawing it back. You trapped me. You made me take toxins for the whole years and used herbal poisons to target my unborn baby. You kept me trapped for 4.5 years. Me trapping you once doesn't even settle the score. Xiaoding, pack your bags and get out of that apartment. You can't just squander marital property. And as for your part in secretly spiking my supplements with those toxic additives, do you know how much trouble you are in? Chenxu promised it was safe once my pregnancy stabilized. He did not know you found us out. You knew the truth and still helped him commit a crime. If I press charges, you are going down with him. Sinian, please, I am so sorry. I am truly sorry. You helped him lie to me for years, plotting right by his side, and now you dare apologize. Oh, and by the way, everything that happened today was recorded. I got every confession on camera. Plus, I have all the physical evidence and chat logs of your betrayal right here. Whether I go to the police is something you need to think about very carefully. Sinian, please, it is too late for begging now. By the quiet roadside, the birthday cake sat untouched, its candles never even lit. He had no reason to make a birthday wish this year anyway. A month later, the divorce was finalized, and Chenxu was kicked out with nothing. The house belongs solely to me, and so does the car. Our savings were split exactly as our postnuptial agreement demanded. Because he signed that contract, the squandered sum of over 2 billion Vietnamese dong was fully recovered. He did not fight me at all, mostly because he did not dare. If the investigation into my poison supplements continued, the consequences would be way worse than a divorce. So he signed quietly and vanished. Unit 402, Building 3 at Kui Ting Court was also fully handed over by the court. Xiaoding no longer has a free luxury apartment to live in, nor does she get that monthly 28 million Vietnamese dong allowance, and she certainly no longer has Chenxu by her side. As for his job, the company found out not through me, but because our old classmates who were there exposed his complete lack of ethics. They demoted him from manager all the way down to an entry-level clerk. His salary was slashed by 40% a full 40%. As for Xiaoding, every mutual friend in our circle blocked her overnight. Ziyang even posted a brutal update. Some people smile and call you sister to your face while doing the dirtiest, most shameless things behind your back. Her social media has been dead ever since. I heard she even changed her phone number and vanished from the city completely. Where she is, nobody knows or even cares. 3 months later, I finally moved into my new place. It is just a simple 2-bedroom apartment, but honestly, that is plenty for us. I just finished the nursery, and my baby is growing perfectly healthy. Thank you, my little one. I do not even know why I am thanking anymore. Thank you, baby. Thank you, my old strength. And thank you to that afternoon when I happened to open that delivery app. If not for that fateful moment, I might have remained blissfully ignorant forever. Maybe I would still be drowning in their sick, deceptive game, only to be stripped of everything I owned while those two kept smiling and whispering toxic sweet nothings in my ear. Last week, Ziyang came over to visit. Sinian, do you have any regrets? Regrets about what, exactly? About what went down at Xiaoding's birthday party that day? Not a single one, but you are raising this baby all on your own. Ziyang, listen to me. I would much rather be alone than tied to a man who tried to poison me and a best friend who betrayed me. This reality is 10,000 times better than that lie. Sinian, I think you are becoming way too cynical. It is not about cynicism. I just refuse to be the fool ever again. Right then, my phone started vibrating. Sinian, I need to see you. Not a chance. My real life is only just beginning now. His income was cut by 40%, and as for Xiaoding, everyone in our circle blacklisted her overnight. Ziyang posted a brutal status update. There are some people who smile and call you sister, but turn around and commit the worst betrayals imaginable. Since that day, his social media has gone completely dead. I heard he even changed his phone number, escaping this city in shame, to where nobody knows and nobody cares. 3 months later, I officially settled into my new home. It is not very big, just 2 bedrooms and a simple living room, but for us, it is more than enough.